This is your video demonstration of how to use the specified database that we use in the museum. So on the bottom of your screen, when you're in the collections, you'll see this little icon with an S and a P called Specify. Open it up. If anything comes up asking you to update your Specify, do not ever say yes. That is something that Annalisa or I need to do, and so we really can't have you guys doing that. You are going to have your own username and password, so you're going to log in when this comes up. You click log in, try to type it correctly, don't speak while you do it. There we go. So it'll take a minute or so to connect. It's connecting through a firewall to our central database so that all the records are stored locally or stored as part of Earlham's cloud and then are backed up regularly. So what you do on this computer will be saved away from this computer in the cloud. Right now, I am logged in as Annalisa. You can tell on the screen down here that I'm logged into an ornithology collection called Fake Birds, and that my username is Annalisa. If you need to change collections, if you are not logged into Fake Birds, which is what you need to be logged into, go under File and click Change Collection, and then go down here until you find Fake Birds. It even has a bird symbol. Click OK. Now you're in Fake Birds. There are many different things that you can do within Specify. I'm not going to give you the whole introduction. You've already looked at the documentation, so you should know what some of these different tabs mean up here and what you can do with them. You're going to go straight into the Data tab because you're going to start adding collection objects. You can see when I clicked on Data, there's a Data window open here. I could click back to the Welcome, which has almost nothing opened, and I click into Data again, right? Okay, so now you're going to click on Collection Object, and you're going to get a new collection object open. So you're going to take the data that I've given you. These are actual records from birds collected by the Smithsonian, and you're going to start entering. Actually, I bet you're going to have to change something first. So turn off under Data Auto Numbering, and then you'll be able to enter a number. You're going to have a list of numbers that you personally are supposed to use, and if you don't use those, you aren't going to get credit for having entered your collection. So at least one of you is going to, you're all going to have 8,000 numbers. One of you is going to have 8,001. So you're going to enter that. And actually, I'm going to put in a different number so that I don't overwrite anything someone else does. Okay, so you've entered your number, one of your 10 numbers. Then you want to look at the information that you have. You're going to need to add a new species, right? Because you have a species determination. So under taxon, you're going to use the search button a lot. Click on search, and we're going to put, whenever we're searching, we're going to put asterisks all over the place because it's really helpful. So my first species is an accipiter, so I'm going to type in accipiter and put a star in, and then I'm going to search. All of the accipiters are going to come up. My accipiter is Accipiter cooperi, so I'm going to click on it. Do not just type in Accipiter cooperi. Make sure you find this taxon because it includes the common name and other information about it. So it will be sure to be recorded as the same taxon as all of the other Accipiter cooperis in our database. This is critical. Don't type it in. Make sure you search for it. You can see that it's also then updated preferred taxon automatically for you. Wonderful. You don't need to do anything else about determination. So in fact, I'm just going to close that and move on to the next section, which is called collecting information. The collector number, you'll have this. So I'm going to type in the collector number for the first one, BKS 7326, and the date, verbatim date. So I know that this is September 20th, 2004. Okay, and now locality. So locality is another one of these things you have to search for because we already have locations entered, and I'm going to show you the tree in a second. Actually, I'm going to show you the tree right away so you know what this is. So now I'm going to go to trees. My collection object is going to stay open down here. You see that, right? I'm in trees right now, and I want to show you why it's so important that for geography you search for the location. So I'm going to go down to the country. I'm going to get into the United States here, open that up. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to click on North America, and get down to United States. Within here, you see we have all these different states. The states are already entered into this program, and they are entered as full words. When you have a state that's only entered as 2 letters, it doesn't get lumped in with the rest of the locations from that state. So you see AL has got 1 county in it. See county at the top here, and the Mobile. Alabama has all of its counties, and Mobile is in there. Mobile is right here. So you can see that we have things collected in Mobile County that are listed here and also up here. So they're not going to be mapped to the same location. That's not good. You don't want that. So you want to make sure that you are using a location that's already entered into our database so everything will map properly. Okay, so that's our geography tree. So going back into geography, now you know why I want you to search for the location and use the asterisks. I'm using 2 asterisks, one at the beginning, and I'm going to enter the Hirschler building. And it turns out, if I search for Hirschler, it comes up, and oh dear, this has been entered 3 different times. Ugh, what a mess. I'm just going to click on the first one. This is why I don't want you to enter stuff, because then you're going to get 3 different Hirschler buildings when they all should be the same thing. Oh, that's a mess. Okay, click on your Hirschler building. It fills in the whole thing. It's the town of Cheyenne, the building of Hirschler in Laramie County in Wyoming. So this automatically fills in for us. That's wonderful. If you have any habitat notes, say it said something about pine forest, you would put that in here. Mine doesn't have that, so I'm not going to. Now, whoever collected this, and we're going to use the search button again because all of the people that collect things for our museum, and you have to use the asterisks, right? Asterisk, learner, asterisk, are entered in here one time with all of their information. It could be links to their field notebooks and pictures of them, links to their publications. So you want to make sure that you are selecting someone who's pretty much already been added in here. You guys are going to say that I collected everything because I'm an agent in here. There are, unfortunately, 3 learners entered, including me twice. This is a login only. This is a who knows what. This one says use on it, so please use it. Click on that. Okay. Now Heather is in. Great. She is your collector. Okay. So we're done with collecting information. We're done with preparation, now we're into preparation type. So click on preparation type, and my preparation type here says skeleton whole and skin partial. So I'm going to put in a skin, and I'm going to click accept. Now if you were the preparator or someone else who wasn't the collector was also the preparator, they may have a number. And if you guys prepare specimens, you will have a number. You'll start with, say, 0, 1. So I'm probably up at about, let's say, 120. So I would enter my preparator specimen number here and put 120. And then I would also find my name, right? And I would enter and you'll see that same Heather Learner comes up, so we know that the collector and the preparator were the same, right? It turns out I did not prepare this, and I did not. So we're just going to take that off. But it's a skin, and you can also have the date. You can enter the date that it was prepared on. Later on, when we're storing it, you'll say where it's stored. We'll click if it's on loan. Okay, but this is good enough. We're going to accept a skin. Okay, but it turns out there's more than one preparation type. They also have a skeleton. Our other databases, so Fake Birds doesn't have all of our prep types. Our other databases, when you click on here, will have tissue, so that you can record your frozen tissue number, spread wing, and that kind of thing. Mounted, right, a taxidermy instead of a scientific specimen. So now we know that we have 2 different types of preps for this one, and we're done with that. So collection object attribute. Okay, we do have some information about this. We know that this was a male. We know that it was an immature. And what else do we know about this bird? We do have weight. And because we don't have units in our database, I want you to write out grams. Don't write gram, don't write G, write the whole thing out for us. That will be the most useful. You can see reproductive condition. You can put if there's a brood patch here. If it's molting, you would put notes about mold. If it had something in its stomach, let's say it was full of beetles, you would put that. Gonads, so here's where you would put measurements for the ovaries or the testes. So I might put testes, and I would put, let's say, 2 by 2 millimeters. It's maybe a little bit small for this bird. It's probably more like 3 by 3, but depending on if they're breeding or not. So, okay. If you have any other remarks, you would put those here. So for instance, this bird has a wingspan, and in this collection I don't have a location here to write out the wingspan, so I would write wingspan here, 690 millimeters, and this time you can just put mm. Okay, so now we're done with that. We can close that up. Here, this is a great part. We're not going to use this today, but we may use this later in the semester, or if you end up working with us in the collections, you may use this in the future. This is where you can attach things. So you could go ahead and you could find a file on your computer. It might be a picture of the specimen. It might be a publication that used that specimen. It might be who knows what, but you can attach a file to stay with this specimen. So you would do that there. Okay, so then you're going to go down and you're going to click Save, and it's going to be saved. Next thing, you're going to enter your next one. You're going to click on plus, and now you can see this whole thing is all new again. I do want to point out that when you are logging things, you're going to come up as the cataloger. So this won't say Analyza. Excellent. So that's what you're going to be doing on Monday. You're going to enter all of your specimens that you've made labels for, and you'll save them all. And I think it's going to be a great time. It should be pretty simple.